Hi everybody, hello and welcome to this video. Welcome to Ascension Love with Alice. It is so wonderful to be here with you. I'm here doing a video on the sacred blood of a moon cycle, right? So I did a video last week, a few days ago actually, and it was, a lot of people were really interested, and they, I get a lot of questions about the feminine mysteries, about especially the chalice mysteries, the red mysteries, womb mysteries. You may know them in different ways, and I'm going to be continuing to do a series on this topic. And last week we looked at kind of balancing out and just kind of starting to care for the Yoni space, for the sacredness of that space, of that chalice, of that vessel. There's been so much desecration and shame for such a long time, and it extends all the way to like the products that we insert within ourselves and how we relate to our moon cycle. This particular video, we are here to we're here to do a little bit outside of the comfort zone type of thing. We are going to be painting with the moon cycle today, because the blood that comes from the womb is incredibly sacred. It's incredibly healing, initiatory, wise. Like when you receive the invitation from the divine feminine within you, and when you actually connect to what it is that she wishes to share with you, each day of your sacred bleed will bring you a different energy that you can connect to. Like for example, the first day is always that releasing whatever you've been alchemizing the month before, whatever you've been manifesting. The first day is always that releasing of that and to completing that transmutation. By the time you get to day 2, day 3, and we'll go into this in more detail in a different video, but by the time you get to day 2, day 3, you've got such innate wisdom coming through, and by day 3, day 4, you've got these incredible stem cells that are coming through. That's incredibly healing as well. So the blood that comes from the woman is the only blood really that is shed without violence as well, right? It is creation at its essence, and one of the things that we can do to actually start to connect with that is to call in the divine feminine, call in Shekinah, call in the goddess within you, right? Create the space. So I'm going to show you here, I'm going to do a painting for the collective. This is getting recorded right before a new moon, a very powerful new moon. We are in a retrograde portal. So there's a lot of powerful stuff coming through. You may find that light language comes through. You may find that patterns come through. You may find that it's, we never really know what's going to happen until it kind of happens, and it's incredible. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna turn the camera around and get set up here. I've already lit a charcoal disc. I'm gonna be putting some beautiful Magdalene Isis incense on. You can search my other posts about this. This is an incredible incense. It is made with over 30 ingredients, including some resins from the Isis Dream Temples in Egypt. So I'm going to put some of that on here. I'm going to set the space. I have a little charcoal disc, so that's just going to nicely smoke away. Beautiful. I've already lit a candle, but whenever you're doing this, create the space, right? Create the space around you. I like to do this usually at night time. For the purposes of this video, I'm doing it in the daytime. Just so there's a lighting here, but yeah, set the space, set the energy, meditate beforehand, connect with yourself, with your heart, with your womb, yeah, we're going to talk as we go along, but I'm just going to rearrange the camera a little bit here, so bear with. Sometimes I even like to pull a card as well, so I will actually do that in just a moment once I've sorted out the camera. Let's just do this. Okay. There we go. So I have some paper here. I'm going to just do this. Okay. And pop that there. So let's start by pulling a Magdalene card. So we're going to ask for what the best theme is for the message that this painting is going to offer. What wisdom are we going to offer? Let's see what comes through here for the collective right now. Okay, we've got this card here, the Saint Sinner card. I love this deck. It's the Magdalene Oracle by Tony Salerno. And yeah, the depictions, the artist was just incredible with these. So we have the Saints in a card. Now I love this because this is about balance. I'm doing this video in the retrograde portal before the 1010 portal. I'm just gonna lift this up a little bit. I'm doing this video just before the Libra new moon in 2021. It's very, very powerful, and there is a theme right now of many things. You know, this the polarity, the balancing of the scales. There is a lot of that right now with all the Libran energy. But also, what I find really interesting about this is that we have the word sinner here. And the word sinner, actually, before it got adopted by the church, before it got adopted and kind of, you know, bastardized a little bit, it actually meant it actually meant a goddess. It actually meant one who connects with her sacred blood, one who dances under the moon, right? And yeah, it's very, very profound. So I'm going to leave that card right here. Yeah, and we're going to crack on. I just want to say as well, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your comments, for your love, for sharing this video, for liking, subscribing. It really means the world. And I'm really excited to see what comes out in this painting. This is the first time I'm doing this on camera, but I know I get too many questions to not share this, so let's go. Okay, I have my paper. I have some paintbrushes. Okay, I've got a glass of water to put them in when I'm finished. I have my sacred offering here. I'm actually going to show it you. Yeah. So in the first video, let's just do this. In the first video, we spoke about how you can actually collect this blood, right? And do it in a really beautiful, sacred way. And so I had my moon cycle recently. And I just always listen for when she's telling me to collect some, right? And how she wishes to express herself. We'll do a whole nother video on that somewhere else. But so I have a little pot, right? It's very deep, very red, beautiful ruby jewels, right? So what I'm going to do here is I have the wonderful Magdalene incense going. I'm just breathing deeply, and I'm just going to choose which paintbrush to go for first, and I think I'm going to go for this one. I have no idea what this is going to look like. I have no idea how this is going to show up. I really don't, but we're just going to see. And just breathe deeply. Allow her to come through. And you might not know what you're going to draw. That's good, right? You won't know what you're going to paint. That's good. It just starts by placing the paintbrush on the paper and letting her go from there. You may find that you're painting with your hands. You may find you're painting with a brush. There is no right or wrong. There is no shame here either, right? There is no shame. The wisdom that is held in this cycle is profound. You can't make a mistake either. You know, you can paint something and completely paint over it and just have a page of red, you know, artwork, and it would be perfect. Some of the questions I've received when people have been asking about, you know, how to do this is, you know, some of the very practical questions like, you know, how do you store it? Does it smell? Stuff like that. Mine doesn't smell at all. I find that, and I spoke about this a little bit in the first video about how we look after the Yoni, but I find that the cleaner the diet, the more water we are drinking, right? Depending on, you know, just the general hygiene, what extra kind of chemicals or influence is there will influence that perhaps. You know, even down to what underwear you're wearing, if you're wearing underwear. I tend to do this during my moon cycle. I don't tend to save this. I have offered my sacred moon blood back to the earth. It's filled with incredible stem cells. It really is. It has miraculous healing qualities, and you know, there are even studies that are being done now to actually identify this and work with this and understand this deeper. You know, it's becoming less of a stigma. But the land loves it. Your plants love it. You know, I first got invited. For anyone that doesn't know my story, and you know what, many people might actually not really know my story because I don't tend to share this this part as much. But for me personally, I had an invitation from the Shekinah, right? I've received a lot of direct initiations. You know, people kind of say, well, who did you learn whatever from, and where did you do all this? And I was like, actually, I've been directly initiated. So the goddesses come through in their own capacity, and you know, and they're all very profound. They're all very different. How those initiations happen, how that remembrance happens. For me personally, I remember the first invite I had to start painting with my moon cycle was when I was living on Chalice Hill. I was living in a yurt on Chalice Hill in Glastonbury in Avalon, right? And the presence of all the Magdalens, Yeshua, Grandmother Anna, all very, very powerful. I was having daily visits from them every morning, noon, and night. You know, they were helping me, and we were healing, and various, just various sacred times that I spent there. And I would hear the goddess, right? I would hear the divine feminine, and she, you know, she would be saying, she would introduce herself. She would go Shekinah, you know, and just say Shekinah, say the word Shekinah, really beautifully, really like kind of invitationally. Is that a word? I don't know. But what's really interesting is that, you know, when I started to tune in, when I started to listen, you know, I'd do some automatic writing, I'd do some painting, I'd do some dance and sacred movement. And, you know, you've seen, if you've been on my YouTube channel or if you're in my Facebook group, and if you're not, please feel very welcome to join it. The link is in the description box below this video, or in the bio if you're watching this elsewhere, right? But yeah, you know, and I share some of those things now with people because it is time. It's part of what I'm here to do as well. It's part of your remembrance, you know, is to help you remember all that it is that you know, and you know all of this. You know, it is innate wisdom. It is here within you, right? It is very much here within you. But yeah, this, it's very sacred. It's very, very sacred to do this. Very cathartic as well, very healing. When you do this for yourself as well, so this is a collective image that is being channeled through. And I'm literally just doing what I feel guided to do, right? You know, I'm not second guessing it. I mean, if I was second guessing it, I'd be kind of worried about how I'm, you know, whether I'm kind of doing neat lines and stuff, but I'm literally just doing it and trusting and surrendering to that flow. Feeling that powerful feminine fire within the center of my body right now, helping offer me the courage to put this video out there as well, right? Yeah, I don't know what to say. We'll see. And it's interesting as well, you know, the world that we have been in, right? It's been so, the world that we've been in, right? It's, there is so much kind of out there to kind of say, you know, this is shameful, or you should feel guilty. It's an inconvenience. It's not an inconvenience at all. It is time to face all of that, and integrate those shadows, right? You know, really integrate. It is only through integrating those shadows that really we can absorb them, right? We can clear them. People think that shadow work is inner child work, and it's not. Right? Reclaiming the inner child is one thing, right? That's the subconscious. You know, the emotional body will show you that inner child, right? Where we can reclaim that. The shadow work that is offered by the mirror reflections of all the beauties around us, right? Is unconscious. Shadows are unconscious. So, you know, when we kind of see how we or others are reacting, responding, especially how others kind of, how that's mirroring back to us in our day-to-day life with things, you know, that's identifying for us those shadows, those unconscious, allowing them to be brought into the conscious world, you know. Can you see that? Okay, yeah, you can. I feel like I want to change my brush now, so I'm going to pop that in there. Oops. Might even change my hand as well, who knows. I'm normally right-handed, but sometimes I do paint with my left hand. Sometimes I'll use my fingers. You know, it's so funny because, you know, in a lot of today's world, you know, there's like other bodily fluids that, you know, especially male bodily fluids that, you know, we get kind of, you know, is advertised, or not advertised, but it's kind of, you know, put out there to be like, oh yeah, get this bodily fluid from the male anatomy on the female, and I want to put this here and I want to put this there, and la la la, and you know, that's kind of like, you know, a chufty badge for people. But you know, those times are shifting and changing, right? And the seed of man is incredibly sacred as well, right? You know, I do not dispute that, and I do not belittle that at all. But what I am doing is I'm bringing the awareness that, you know, so is this. It's okay to touch this. It's okay for this to be on your body, right? It's okay for this to be on your clothes. My bedroom is full of artwork from sacred moon cycles. Each one is signed with a date so that I kind of know what, because the thing is as well, when I paint for myself, I am receiving the wisdom, the light codes that we are then integrating and working with over the next 28 days, you know. And it's just beautiful to look at it. It's so powerful. It feels so incredibly powerful, you know. What am I doing here? Let's see. Yeah. If you have any questions, please feel very welcome to ask. You know, I teach on various things, various topics: sacred sexuality, shadow work, inner child reclamation. I have a wonderful program called Rebirthing the Goddess, which is an on-demand class. We go through all the archetypes and do some quantum healing, right? Soul realignment to help you re-embody and remember, you know. Do quantum healing in the Akashic Records, soul retrieval, angelic guidance, priestess guidance, and initiation, right? And all those are able, you know, you can see all those on my website if it, you know, if it's curious for you. And you may not find it that interesting, so that's okay as well. Yeah. But if you are curious, if you are wanting to remember, if you do resonate with my energy and the cadence in which I speak and bring this back through to you, and, you know, by watching this alone, you're going to have such deep remembrance. Check your dream time, right? Oh, I love dream world. In dream space and dream time, everything is a message from the divine, everything. And we can misinterpret that. We can kind of, just think that, oh, that fruit bowl being there and that handbag and that colour top, that's all just kind of coincidence. That person's there because I saw them in my day-to-day. No, actually, everything is specific for from your team of light, right? To help you heal, help you remember, help something. So I love dream interpretation too. I offer dream interpretation, taught by my beautiful, beautiful friend Melissa, who I've done some calls with recently, Priestess of the Golden Age calls. What else are we drawing here? What else are we painting? Sometimes what I like to do as well is I like to kind of do a base layer, and then I will actually paint over it with a very light coat of paint, because sometimes that water energy is very powerful. We've got a lot of swirls and spirals coming in here. We have scorpion energy, or it could be a lobster by the looks of it, but it has a point on its tail, so I'm presuming that's Scorpio. Venus is in Scorpio right now when I'm doing this, right? It's having an impact on people. Scales are balancing with that Libra energy. Pluto, birth, death, rebirth, right? Also that Scorpio energy with Pluto. The new moon in Libra as well is a 13 number, which is a divine feminine number, right? It's not only a divine feminine number, but it's also another layer of birth, death, rebirth. So having Mars, the Sun and the Moon all at 13 degrees conjunct with one another on the 6th of October. Wow, How do you work with your moon cycle? How do you connect with your womb space? How do you do all that? Share with me. I want to hear. Let me know in the comments. I actually have on my website, there's a sign up form for email subscription list, as there is on like everyone's website these days. But I have, if you do choose to sign up for an email, on the email list, I have a heart womb meditation as a free gift, as a thank you for your exchange of energy and your love and your support. It's always fun sending out the monthly updates. We kind of get to tune into what's coming for the month ahead, and any sacred priestess offerings, which is always wonderful to connect with you all and send that out and just hear your thoughts back. I have the Ankh coming through right now in front of this Scorpio, and I find that really interesting because the Ankh, and like I say, I'm not thinking about this, I'm just doing, but the Ankh is that key of life. It actually represents the womb space, the fallopian tubes, the vaginal canal, right? The key of life. That's why you always see this in depictions of hieroglyphs or any ancient drawings, right? Because it also represents that creation energy, that sexual energy. Alignment at its purest is sexual energy, and that's what heals. That's the story of Isis, Osiris, Set, Horus, right? She healed through, she put Osiris back together through that sexual energy, And what's really powerful about that is that, because the story goes, it's like, the brother Set, which represents the ego, tore Osiris apart, dotted him about the globe, and that's essentially what we do, right, with our ego. That's what happens, is that the ego within us, we project it outwardly. It's kind of like what the saint sinner is that we end up projecting it out, and we forget as within, so without, that's how You know, that's how everything works. That's how shadow works. How we can do the shadow healing. As within, so without. And it was with that sacred energy. And I'm just kind of, I'm making the story really quite short for what it is. But with that sacred sexual energy, Isis put Osiris back together, rebirthed him. Birth, death, rebirth. Birth, death, rebirth. So much fear in the world today. But that story reminds us that, even when we are afraid, that's okay. It's okay. It's really interesting. I have no idea what some of these symbols are, but then some of them I'm looking at them now and I'm like going, interesting. Sometimes I'll even be channeling light language, right? Doing this. And it's wonderful to do as well, because when you connect with this type of energy, you can feel that energy rising within you. You can feel it, right? You can feel that kundalini, that serpent starting to rise and feel honored, So then I just did a spiral and I was like, I don't want that to be a spiral. It doesn't feel like a spiral. It feels like just a blob, a big blob. So it's now turned into a circle. And I like it even more. Yeah. Chalice Mysteries, hey? How many of you have been to Chalice Well? I love it. Love, love, love being in Glastonbury. Especially when I was on Chalice Hill, when I was living on Chalice Hill. The being able just to literally, first thing in the morning, head up the Tor, first thing in the morning for a little walk, and then when Chalice Well was open, straight in there. Hearing the wisdom she wishes to offer. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna stop here. Just gonna do this. We're just gonna have a little triangle in the corner. I don't know why, but we've got a little triangle here. We have another triangle here. So each one is always very different. Sometimes it actually looks like something, like you can tell that something is being drawn. Sometimes it's just swirls and spirals and various things. So, yeah. So that's what it looks like. That's what we've got so far. I will, when I finish this video, I'll take a picture of that and, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, please let me know. It's always an honor to share this very sacred, very intimate as well. Yeah, offering with you all. And I always love reading your comments, so thank you for sharing. Until next time, I'm going to send you so much love. And yeah, speak soon. We'll be looking at, I don't know what yet. I wait until the goddess tells me. I wait until that divine feminine flows through me. But I know there'll be a few more of these videos to look at various different aspects, especially questions that I get asked. So if you have questions, please feel very welcome to ask them. Okay. Send you so much love.